Hey everyone.
Hi everyone.
So as mentioned in the past, if you can say that you can hear us and you can see us and all of that fun stuff, then we can kind of move into chatting. I'm using earbuds this time, so hopefully the sound is a little better.
You sound really clear.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Then that's all that matters. It might just be us that have the conversation. So
perfect.
Hey Julie. Hey Lil Bunny.
Little Bunny Foo-Foo.
Is that? I know. Is that Amberlicious? Oh, great. You can hear us. Perfect.
Good.
I would like to know what Lil Bunny Foo-Foo X stands for. Like, is that a pet? That's kind of what it looks
Isn't
like.
Isn't that the little bunny Foo-Foo hopping through a forest, the little kids song when you were little?
I have not been around kids in quite some time, since I was a kid.
I don't think I ever sang this to my kid, but it was little bunny Foo-Foo hopping through the forest. Scooping up the field mice and bopping them on the head.
It's just, no, I don't remember this.
Okay. That's how I know Little Bunny Foo-Foo.
I believe you.
That's so funny.
So for anyone that is not familiar with Lori has her own YouTube channel. I think I linked it below. So definitely after this, go subscribe to her and check out some of her videos. But I started watching you when you had very few subscribers. You popped up on my suggested videos, and I don't know what it was about your face, but something about it just seemed, oh, she seems nice.
Oh my gosh.
So I clicked on it, and instantly within 5 minutes, I was just like, I really like her. And I also was sensitive to the fact of knowing how hard it is to start YouTube, and just kind of you have to fumble your way through it. And so I've been watching you since I feel like the beginning.
Courtney, I think I was in single-digit followers. I just need to close my door. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot I have a family downstairs who's very loud. No, I have shared this story before, but I mean, honestly, maybe I had 40 subscribers. It was something really low, and you may have even found me before then. But I was in New York City with my husband, and I was at the Bins in Queens. And I left the Bins, and we were just kind of talking about the experience because I had taken an Uber over there and he was working in town. So we were just kind of talking. And honestly, Courtney, my phone just started to blow up. Like, you have a YouTube notification. You have a new subscriber. You have a new subscriber. Like, what is going on? Like, did my mom call my uncle? Or no idea. And honestly, I really feel like you put me on the map. And well, because you did that video.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't tell anyone in advance because I think the majority of people, they had kind of, following similar to mine or comparable to mine. So I didn't think that I should maybe notify some people who might see a boost and let you know in advance.
It was actually such a nice surprise.
Good. Yeah, it was. So I feel like that was, I don't know how long ago that was, but how long have you been on YouTube?
I've been on YouTube since January of 2019. So just over a year and a couple months. And so I think, gosh, when was it? Maybe spring to April or May?
Yeah, I think it was around April that I did that video. Yeah. So anyway, for everyone who doesn't know Lori, who are you and why are you chatting with me?
Sure. So I am Lori, and my name is Lori's Boston Found, and that's relatively recent, within the past few months. Prior to this, I was just Lori Tata, and I started reselling in August of 2018 as a result of I had kind of been reselling on and off without really calling it anything, and without having any contact with the reselling world. I just sold things on eBay, was very comfortable selling things on Craigslist. And, I was kind of a wheeler and dealer. I liked that life. But by trade, I was a teacher. I was a special ed teacher, but I have been a stay-at-home mom. My oldest is going to be 21 in a couple weeks. So I've been home for years and just working a lot of part-time gigs. And one of the women I was working with at American Girl, she is the Bins Queen, and she has given me the green light to mention her name because she's part of my story. So she was a lead in our department at American Girl, and we found out that she was moving to Pittsburgh to pursue a career as a full-time reseller. And I had worked with her for over a year and had no idea she did this. I'm like, what do you mean a reseller? So she told me about Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this, and this sounds like so much fun. And I was kind of coming to the end of my time at American Girl, had been there almost 10 years, and it was just kind of hanging on. I mean, I was literally working like 6 hours a week and dragging. I had left once, went back for 2 years as a personal shopper. And so I finally decided to do this. And so I joined Poshmark in August of 2018, and I hit like a yellow tag sale at TJ Maxx and Savers. And I didn't shop from my closet, which is my number one biggest regret. Because I have, but I'm going to do that now that I'm quarantined. So I'm going to get to it. So I was part-time for a year, and then started YouTube in January of 2019. And then I went full-time as a reseller in September. Then I recently started a podcast, and now it's just, I feel like a snowball effect. And I feel like everything in my life has just led me to this place.
Yeah. And so shout out, you should shout out your podcast since we're here.
Oh, yes. My podcast is called Thrifter's Villa, and I co-host it with my friend Daniela from Ivy and Blush. And she actually reached out to me. She was, I think, searching for a YouTube video on bins in our area. And I had done one on the New Hampshire bins, which is where I was going primarily at the time. Now I'm kind of enjoying the Boston bins a little bit more. But at the time I was just going there, and I had done a few hauls. So she was watching me on YouTube and then started following me on Instagram. And we started having, one-off conversations that led to longer conversations. And then Leslie from A Reseller's Passion was traveling. It's so funny how we're all connected, was traveling up from Delaware to do like a podcast for her podcast, A Reseller's Passion podcast. And she was interviewing New England resellers. She invited me to that. And that was actually the first time I came face to face with Daniela. And we had started talking about the podcast, and then it just went from there. So we release a podcast every Monday, and our whole vibe is to just have like a conversation style. We want our listeners to feel like they're at the kitchen table with us, just kind of talking about reselling stuff. Occasionally we have a guest on, about once a month we have a guest, and we just had Kristen from Voyage is a Verb. And she's doing some really great things with her website, Twice Our Cost. And it was just really fun. We had a great interview with her on Monday. So yeah, every Monday. And this week is a Q&A. So we need some questions. So if anybody wants to DM either one of us, we would love to take your feedback.
Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I see lots of people are joining in the chat.
Hi, everyone.
So I titled this video, How Has Business Changed? Just because I think for me, it's now been 2 weeks since I've done any sourcing in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like it's day by day, and there's always inconsistency with reselling in general, as far as, the volume of sales and the dollar amounts and stuff like that. So it's hard to gauge, but I do feel like 2 weeks is a decent number to say,
I think so.
Has my business changed, and kind of how am I feeling about it? But let's start with you. Have you noticed any trends as far as, have your sales gone down?
For sure. For sure.
And like how bad approximately?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the 2 weeks, because I hadn't done a What Sold video in a substantial amount of time. And I did one, I think it was on March 16th, but it was for the first 2 weeks of March. And I wanted to compare it to the last 2 weeks of March, because I suspected there was going to be a big drop, and there actually has been for me. Yesterday was my first no sale day since we started to self-quarantine, it's been, about 2 weeks now. So I think I had like 53 sales in the first 14 days of the month. And I think I may have had 11 or 12 since. So I would say about 75%, to be honest. 75% drop in sales for me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How about you, Courtney?
It's hard to gauge. I don't think mine is that drastic. And
That's
eBay is nice because you've got a lot of data that you can kind of look at, and it's just very easy. So I did pull up my eBay. I did have one $0 day on eBay, and that was, I think, a week and a half ago. And then I've had a couple on Poshmark.
Okay.
So Poshmark, I feel like, has taken a little bit more of a hit, but both equally, I would say I probably at about 50% of what I'm normally at. I mean, it's hard because it hasn't been the full month, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, how are you feeling about it? I know you have your kids, you have your husband. Is he still working? Is there any
He's still
impact there?
working. My husband is, he works in Boston. He is an accountant, and he's been working from home and working remotely and very happy about it, to be honest. So his work is going strong, and for that I'm grateful, because that is really what pays the bills in our house. So I've been okay with the sales dipping, and I've been trying to lean in a little bit more towards YouTube, and I'm, working on developing a website and thinking about the podcast. And I guess I'm trying to like nurture other parts of my business. I did my first order for the Real Reel. They picked it up today. That's been on my to-do list forever. So I feel like I'm fortunate that I can not freak out too much about sales right now and focus on other things to hopefully plant some seeds to build my business moving forward. But on this, I actually filmed a vlog today that I deleted because I got emotional for the first time, because I think I've been really sad for my kids. So I am fine. I'm doing well. I think my business is definitely hurting, but that's not what's hurting me right now. My daughter's a senior in high school, and they're wondering if she's going to have graduation. They canceled prom a couple days ago. My son came home and they said, "Oh, you'll be back on April 3rd." And then he got the word that, no, you're not going back to Penn State. So like my kids are really sad, and my son's baseball season is over. So all of that stuff is really weighing on me. But like work stuff, I feel like I'm pretty optimistic, like enjoying their time at home. Like all the time together is okay. But their life stuff, like sometimes I would, like, on one hand, it's nice because they're older and I don't have to entertain them, because my heart is going out to all the moms with young children who are trying to like homeschool, maybe work from home, keep all the moving parts. So it's not that sort of difficult, but it's just kind of seeing them miss some pretty big milestones that have been hard.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just trying to be creative and with my business, and I guess just embrace it a little bit, and get out of my comfort zone. I am listing, cross-posting to eBay more than I did in February. I'm going to tap into those hard goods I've been avoiding, and just open up a little bit, because I think I need to.
Yeah. Just a shout out to Ladybird Rays. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's very sweet. And it's just great to see people in here. I think there's about a little over 100 people in here. And
oh, wow. Hi, everyone.
We will get to any questions you guys have kind of at the later half, but I just kind of wanted to talk about the topic. I think I saw someone recently leave a comment on someone else's What Sold, and they said you shouldn't be showing. I think the person was trying to suggest that maybe it was a little bit showing off of highlighting sales at this time, because it is a hard time for a lot of resellers, just a lot of people. I mean, it's not even just resellers, it's just a hard time. But for me, I'm actually finding comfort seeing how this is affecting other resellers, whether it be that they share their sales and, hey, my sales have taken a hit. Hearing that has given me a little bit of, okay, I'm not alone.
Sure.
Also, I don't have kids, but I would imagine if I did, hearing from other resellers that not only is it hard because you're trying to keep your kids' spirits up and you're probably carrying that weight for your family, but also it's probably impacting your reselling business, because you now have, as much as family time is good, if you have more people under your roof for a longer period of time, it might actually make you take away from your reselling, which can also take a hit on your numbers,
Yeah, it's definitely affected my routine, because typically the kids are out at 7 in the morning, and then I go downstairs, and that's kind of my time to list and watch Good Morning America and upload photos. And I do that and now my husband's home. And this morning, actually, when I was vlogging, you could hear him in the background because he was conducting interviews for internships from students at UMass Amherst. And he was over there talking, and I was like just laughing because you could hear him so clearly in my video. And I just laughed. But I have shifted because I used to film most of my videos in my office that just has a lot of natural lighting. And I just went downstairs. I cleaned my office and I moved down to the basement. I kind of like it down there. So it's I feel like I can shut the door and be away from everything. So I've had to switch things up a little bit. But no, there's been a lot of comfort in seeing what other people post. And I've struggled a little bit because like I did a post on Instagram tonight and I took out the line that said, I had my first no sales day yesterday. Cause I don't want to be like doom and gloom either. So I'm having a hard time. Like, I don't want to always be like, everything's great, because everything isn't great. But I also, you know, I like being positive out there, and I don't like to like air my dirty laundry and things like that. So not that that's dirty laundry. That's just like, I had a bad day, you know? So I don't mind sharing that, but it's been hard, like what to put out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And I also think a lot of people are relying on the connection of social media more than ever. I know I can't keep up with comments and messages right now, and I feel like there's an influx because people do want to feel connected. By the way, what are you sipping on?
I'm just sipping on seltzer because my girlfriends, we had a virtual happy hour earlier and I started drinking wine. And I'm like, that was 3 hours ago. And I'm like, if I'm still drinking wine by the time I'm talking to Courtney, I'm going to be slurring my words. So I shifted to seltzer water. Isn't that boring?
No. I mean, it's actually late for you. It's what? It's 9:15.
It's only 9:17. It's certainly, you know, within the realm of wine drinking time. I just wanted to be coherent for this live.
Yeah. I don't think anyone actually expects it right now. I think it's just, you know, people are doing whatever these days. But I actually just got a wine delivery yesterday. And I've never done like wine delivery, but I'm just trying to avoid the stores if possible. And I tried out this service and it was a lot of fun because you fill out a little questionnaire and then it populates your like wine they think you would like.
Is it like a monthly delivery?
I think you can you could subscribe to it, or you could just have the one and skip months and stuff like that.
Fun.
But yeah, I got a little thing in a box, like a coupon code for another wine service. So I went to YouTube to see what people were saying about that wine service. And then I found this other wine service that someone seemed to like better. So anyways, I linked that below. If you guys are in need of virtual happy hour is awesome. Yeah. Curvy Muse. Yeah. That is awesome. I think people are getting creative, but
for sure.
Yeah. So I would say, I think it's really great to see the community come together. I think for me, the hardest thing has been, my life actually hasn't changed much besides the fact that I'm not going and sourcing and I'm not going out with friends and I'm, you know, and there's that aspect. But as far as like my work life, I still have a ton that I can do. And so I don't feel like it's changed that much, but I do feel like I am checking the news more and I'm checking social media more to see how people are reacting, to see how people are doing. I'm FaceTiming like every friend that I've ever had in my life, you know?
That's
so I
great.
think it is good, but it also, you know, it's shifted things where I think my personal sanity has become at the forefront of what's most important over my reselling business.
I agree completely. I mean, it's kind of like desperate times call for desperate measures. This is kind of a bit of a desperate time. And if we have to put things aside for a bit, I mean, hopefully people who, I mean, I say this and, you know, I feel like I have a safety net in Jay's job right now. But I feel like you're a good example of somebody who has saved for a rainy day. And I feel like, you know, you're very smart with your money and how you budget things. So I'm hoping that can carry you through a difficult time. I worry about you because you're alone. As far as like, how isolated do you feel?
Yeah, it's funny. I would say if you have anyone in your life that normally lives alone and you think, oh, it's not a big deal, it is a huge shift, because I think that, you know, I go out more to be around people because I do have my downtime at home. And even though I'm more introverted, I think, you know, taking away, removing your interaction.
When you take away the option.
Yeah, you take away the option.
Yeah.
So that I think, and I also live in a very rural area, so I can't look out a window and see someone, you know, and I actually was thinking about it the other day. If I lived in my apartment that I lived in San Francisco, I don't know how I would be functioning right now, because I was on the 3rd floor inside a building. I had to walk by all these doors. I had to go down the 3 flights of stairs just to get outside. And, you know, how hard that must be, because you're kind of living in fear just to leave your own apartment.
I feel for the people in New York City because it's such a congested
Right.
area, and it's like that's the epicenter of all of this.
Yeah.
And where do you go?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Where did you live in San Francisco? I was on like the corner of Clay and Leavenworth in Nob Hill.
Oh, I was not far from, I was Lower Pack Heights.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So I actually had
crazy.
some friends in Nob Hill. My dog.
I mean, it was like, it was a closet. And then we moved out to, I got my master's at San Francisco State. And so we lived out on, I can't even think of the name of the street right now, but it was very close to the college. And BART went like to the end of our street.
There are a few, I mean, Sunset goes out that way, and there's a couple like BART lines that go out that way. But yeah, I feel bad for a lot of my friends in San Francisco because I can actually, like, they just closed down the hiking trails in Los Angeles. And I was just talking to Posh Boss Blake and said, hey, there's some trails that are kind of split between us if you want to social distance and meet up, and you know, because he's in a building and he's kind of stuck and can't go out easily. So I would
say the park's closing. A girlfriend of mine who works here in town, she works for the recreation department and my kid's lifeguard at the state pond and stuff at the lake. But yeah, she said they're closing the parks now because kids were playing basketball. And I'm just like, and we're in a rural area with like apple orchards and, you know, we have a lot of open air here, but to think that the kids don't have the option to go to the parks now, it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, no. But I think people are adapting, at least it seems like it. I think people are shifting their daily habits. I was already cooking at home a lot, the majority of my meals. So, but I know that if you were constantly eating out, you're probably learning how to cook.
For sure.
You know, the connection of like my oldest sister taught my grandma how to use FaceTime so that, you know, those types of things are kind of the bright light and all this.
For sure. There are things that are emerging. Like I said to my daughter, and I think I said this on Quenby's Live the other night, they were having like a virtual class in talking about books and A Million Little Fires, or what's that new one out with Reese Witherspoon? And
yeah, I watched it.
You watched it?
It's
on
Scandal.
Hulu. From Scandal, yes. Yeah. Kerry Washington.
Yes.
So this girl who my daughter, like we grew up with her, but they haven't been friends in high school. They're not enemies, but they just don't really talk in high school. And they were on this group chat for their classroom. And the girl like lived down the street and she came up and she put the book in our mailbox for Angie. And I was like, you know, that is just not a connection that would have happened if this hadn't happened. You know, it's just very small, but I feel like there have been a lot of those, like the FaceTime, like teaching your grandmother to be on FaceTime and in the virtual happy hours and connecting with people that who knows if you would have even been connecting with them had this not happened. So I do believe there's a lot of good that is coming out of this, you know, and it will be behind us at some point. But I do think, you know, business has been hard. Have you been doing any online sourcing or anything like that? It's not really my jam. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I feel like my internet says it's stable. So I'm not sure if people can still see us, but hopefully I can still hear you loud and clear. But it says on my computer, there's a little bit of a...
Nobody in the chat. Can everybody hear us okay? Oh, Kathy, you lived in San Francisco too? Cool.
Yeah,
yep, so you're good. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I can't see the chat anymore, so I'll have to open it on a different link. But yeah, I can't even remember what you were just saying.
I was asking you if you were doing any online sourcing.
So I had a credit. I got an email from ThreadUp that someone had used my ThreadUp link, and that $10 or whatever was going to expire by this the 28th, which is what, tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So I went on to ThreadUp and I purchased a rescue box. And so I think that's arriving on Monday.
Oh, good.
So I'll probably do a video of that. It's that's the only thing that I've done, but that was just because I didn't want to lose the $10, you know?
That's really fun. Yeah, I've never done one of the rescue boxes. I've, you know, I feel like the designer rescue boxes are like near impossible to like time out right to buy one.
Yeah.
Unless you know somebody and they message you or whatever. And I just have never, I honestly have so much. I have plenty in my house.
Yeah. you kind of, I think timing wise, you actually did a disservice to yourself because you kind of cleared out a lot of stuff right before all this happened.
I did. It was so ironic. Like literally, I hadn't even filmed the video like as my follow-up because I wanted to have all the appointments with the consignment shops done. I wanted things like actually out of my house. Like before I did the video, it like meant a lot for me to like be on it, like to just have it gone.
Right.
And yeah, it's very ironic that I mean, I think I moved 400 pieces in the month of February, not including my sales, like between donations and consignment stores. And then,
and some of that was not listed, right? Some of it was just unlisted that you just decided I'm going to move this out. So you could have had additional death file. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Sorry.
Yeah, but no regrets because now I have been wanting to move a lot of my American Girl collection and just do a video on that, like something off the beaten path. Like I've been toying with a second channel, but I don't think I'm going to do it. But because I do want to do like a series on American Girl, and I'm like, who's going to really want to watch this? Like, I'm going to gear it towards resellers and collectors and like what to look for, but it's just a lot. There's a lot with that company and I have a lot to talk about. And I just feel like, I don't know if this is really my audience for that. But I mean, I'll try it. It is what it is, you know?
I think at this point, I think a lot of people are putting up content that maybe they wouldn't normally put up, but just trying to be engaged. But I think as long as there's a reselling connection, I know, dog. I think it's totally fine because that's, it's not necessarily.
I could try to condense it, like do the first one and see how it goes. And then, we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're probably going to move to the chat since I know everyone's been chatting and all that stuff, but and I'll try and highlight any comments.
Hi, Jeanette.
It moves so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lily.
So you can see the comments now, right, Courtney?
Yeah. I refreshed. I was worried because it's set up on the computer. And so I was worried if I refreshed that it would just cut all of this. But it didn't.
Okay.
You learn something new every day. So.
Aw. Anne Marie.
I just can't even.
So sweet.
Oh my gosh. No question tonight. Just wanted to say hi to both of you. Oh my gosh.
Hello.
There was another one and I feel like I missed it and I just want to scroll back up and say thank you. So do you see any questions or comments?
Oh, Bolo Buddies. I started a Monday night series with just jewelry, totally different from my norm. Yeah, I think this is a great time. And I do think if you're going to post anything that's different, you might tap into people who will be a new audience for you. I'm enjoying different content right now because I think YouTubers are putting out so much that something a little off the beaten path is kind of refreshing right now.
I just want to shout out Christina Xavier did a super chat earlier and I just wanted to say thank you. That's so sweet. Honestly, that's probably the biggest change. And I know I've mentioned this in the other lives, but the biggest change for me is I was never a live watcher, but now that if there's a live and I can schedule it on my phone, I'm instantly there. I just want to be engaged with people. And I think that last night, Dave Matthews did a live thing with Verizon. Did you watch it?
No, but okay. Oh. No, finish because I saw the thing, but I heard you talk about Dave Matthews last night and I was like, as if I couldn't love Courtney anymore. I totally have a Dave Matthews story, but go ahead.
Okay. So I used to watch a lot of live music and a lot of underground stuff, but I would say Dave was the one that I kept going back to live that was like not really underground, was big, but still kind of felt a little underground. Yeah. And I had been following him since, I was young. And anyway, so he was live and I am not going to lie. I had a little bit of a meltdown. It's the first meltdown I had because I was watching him.
Dave will do that to you.
He will. And then he's playing the songs that are just, this reminds me of my family. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't see my family. And so I was having this moment with Dave yesterday and it was just, you knew that he was standing in his home at that exact moment that you're watching him. And I think that's the thing about lives right now is you feel like even though you're not right there in proximity with them, you know that they're sitting there in that moment, and you feel a little bit more connected with them. So I think that's been the biggest change for me with watching content, is I've never liked lives, and now I'm wanting them. You know, I'm wanting to be a part of them.
I agree. I mean, I think it's hard to sometimes when you watch lives, for me, and people are constantly talking to the chat, I feel like I lose the content. So sometimes I lose interest. But as a viewer in a chat, if the person like says hello or acknowledges the group, it feels nice, right? So it's like trying to find that balance when you're doing the live, you know, between getting the content out and having the conversation and then connecting with the people viewing. But so was the Dave thing, can I still access that? I saw it was an ad on Verizon.
I think it's on Verizon's Twitter channel. I think they should probably have a playback, but he's just alone in his home, and he, you know, he's talking like he does live. He's talking between his songs, and he's kind of addressing why he picked certain songs, and also just talking about the current situation and how it's impacted him. And, you know, but he does it in such a Dave way, just such a positive but real way. And so yeah, definitely watch it. But I think that was the first point where I was like, okay, I you know, Dave will bring out the emotions of you if you're a fan of his, but then it elevated last night because I, you know, but I think that's the thing is I think I'm not a super sensitive person, but I think this whole experience has been like, it is okay if you need to sit there and watch some Netflix and not. Because a big part of watching a show for me is like, I've got to be working on something, you know, I've got to be multitasking, because as a reseller,
just like close the laptop and watch.
Yeah. And I think that's been a big thing, is just take that time, just take that emotional break, because, you know, and not beat myself up over it, not set those lofty goals and whatnot. But, yeah, Kelly, definitely look it up. I don't know if anyone can confirm or deny that the Dave Matthews live from yesterday is still going, but
I hope it is. No, honestly, you mentioned me in your story last night, and like I was listening, and I'm like, oh, I want to share it to my story when you mentioned that we were going live, and then you're like, and I'm listening to Dave Matthews, and I was like, she's a Dave fan. So I think I've seen like 15 of his shows. And my first show, we had just gotten married in 95, and my husband, I think it was like in 94, and Jay saw him on Saturday Night Live, and he's like, really? It was like, What Would You Say was like his big song, and I was waitressing at a bar, and oh my gosh, they used to play it at work, and I loved it. So we saw him right after our honeymoon. And then we just, started following him everywhere. I saw him in Daly City when we were out in California. We saw him in Oakland, which was a crazy show on Halloween. Like, we were all over the place. But fast forward, and we moved home, and a good friend from our youth who used to date my brother-in-law somehow was friends with the drummer, Carter. No, not Boyd Tinsley is the violinist, kind of heavy set. I can't think of his name. So anyways, we were on his tour bus. We went on the bus. They picked us up in downtown Boston, and we drove to Connecticut on not Dave's bus. There were like 3 buses. So Boyd Tinsley had his own bus, and we were there. Leroy, the guy who passed away, I believe, was on our bus. We had like 3 of the guys, the bass player, Stefan. I mean, it was like surreal, Courtney. And we went to the show, and we were like behind the scenes, and we got like the set list when we were in the audience. We went into the cafeteria and we ate dinner, and we were all sitting there eating. It was like buffet style for the band and like people with the tags. And we're sitting there eating lunch, and all of a sudden Dave freaking walks in to like go get chicken. We're all like stunned. Like, I am just stunned, like sitting there quiet, like in complete disbelief. My husband's like, this is freaking crazy. Like, he's like, I'm just going to acknowledge how unbelievable it is that we are in a cafeteria and Dave Matthews is getting his chicken right there. It was crazy, crazy. So then, we met him and got a picture, and then we went back to Boston, and my friends stayed, like they had a couple hotel rooms, and they all stayed and partied in Boston. And my husband's like, no, we have to go home. I'm like, what? We have to go home? He's like, party's over. Like, we're not staying in Boston with the band. I'm a guy. We're married. We're going home. And I think I just was depressed for like a week after that. It's like crazy. It was crazy. It was
I
probably like 15 years ago, and I will never forget it. That's my Dave story.
I have heard from some friends that he is one of the best people to meet because he's just so down to earth and just like so relaxed about things. Which is just, I wouldn't even be able to wrap my brain around it.
I couldn't for a while. He had just had his twins or something, but anyways, we digress. I love Dave, and I love that you love Dave.
Oh, I mean, I can't, someone asked me recently what my favorite song was, and I was like, I just don't even know where to begin because it so depends on like what's going on in your life of what, and also just, yeah. And also like, you just have so many memories of situations that Dave is a part of, you know? So,
and it's a total rabbit hole. Once you start listening to his stuff, you can't come out of it.
It is.
So I can see why you got emotional.
I've been on a big Dave bender. Oh my gosh, Natasha, you are so sweet. Oh, that is the sweetest thing. You guys are just, I'm so glad you guys are just here hanging out with us. It's just I feel emotional these days. So seeing this, I got a little card from someone and I just almost cried when I realized like, oh my gosh, you know, there's just so many nice people, not even just in the reselling community, obviously, but just right now, I feel people are just, the whole kindness thing that people are talking about. It's just,
I feel like even the news has been more positive. I mean, they say what they need to say in the beginning about stats and what's going on, but then I feel like there's this real shift and just random acts of kindness and like parades going by, like car parades for kids' birthdays, and just like the 21-year-old who, you know, turned 21 in quarantine.
Yeah.
Because we're thinking about that because mine's going to be, Ant's going to be 21 in a couple of weeks. He's going to be home for it. So, but how sweet was that?
That was the cutest thing ever. And then all the people commenting on, if you guys don't know, there was a parents, their son was turning 21. And so they created a makeshift bar and the dad like carded him.
Dad was like a bouncer outside.
Yeah. Yeah. And did all of the like, I don't know, you know, like,
it was so cute.
You would experience. And I thought that was the sweetest
thing. It was really cute.
So yeah, I
almost said Dave is my secret listing power. Do you listen to Dave, Nancy, and list? That's a good idea. Hours can go by.
Hours. And he's got so much great music that it never gets old. So let's see if there's any. We're both pretty terrible at keeping up with the chat, but
the mom sure serves shots. Yes, that was really cute.
Yeah. So has anyone done any sort of, has anyone been shifting to the online purchasing? I feel like I still have a lot of work and I still have a lot of stuff that I can relist and stuff like that. So I'm not pressing any panic buttons besides the ThreadUp box, just because I didn't want to lose the $10 credit.
Yeah.
But I haven't made any other purchases and I don't plan to, but I don't know if anyone, I know some people are doing some more wholesale boxes. I did a porch pickup and that actually turned out okay.
Oh, you did that haul like from a friend where you had like all the suits?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good.
So, I mean, I'll do that again. I think it's, you know, just trying to keep up with everything. But Lizette said her community is doing a bear hunt for all the kids. You put a teddy bear in the window and drive around town bear hunting. Oh,
that is so sweet. I feel like people are so creative. That is so sweet.
Yeah, it is, and I love when people post this stuff, and I love when that stuff goes viral because it's really nice to see what
we need
creativity.
We need it right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How are your parents? Because your parents actually help with your business a little bit, right?
They do, actually. My parents are okay. So they live about a half hour away. My dad still shares for me every day, but we've had like a little scare with my dad from a health thing. He had a scan and they saw something on his lungs. So we're not sure what's going on right now. My parents are really nervous. They like canceled. One of the appointments was canceled to go in because they didn't, you know, they want people exposed. So I guess it's a good thing that they considered it not urgent.
Okay.
So nothing's been confirmed yet, but he has to go see like a pulmonary specialist. And it's just been strange to have this happening and be afraid to go to the hospital. Because my parents are afraid. Like my mom's kind of a fearful person anyway. So Yeah, so my mom hasn't been doing any packaging, but my dad still shares my closet every day because it's virtual, and I think he likes it. It kind of gives him something to do, and yeah, he's super helpful. So yeah, they're still plugging away, but yeah, it's, and I can't go there to help. Like Anthony today, my oldest, they had their appointment, and I had picked up some masks at Target just a couple weeks ago. They're not the heavy duty ones, and they were just at the checkout. So I bought 3 packages of 2, so I would, in case we needed them for the family, have them. And my mom was afraid to go to the hospital without a mask, so then Anthony drove the mask to them. So we're basically doing like meds pickups for my dad, and just like, and my mom will go out, but then she comes home. And my dad was used to kind of doing a lot of errands and stuff, but my mom's just worried because his immune system is potentially compromised. So she wants him home. So they're doing all right. They're tough New Englanders and very independent. But yeah, so we're just hoping that that all fares well. So we did have an appointment today, and he is going to follow up. And I, of course, want him to go to Boston because they're just at like a small hospital, but they're comfortable where they are, and they're just old school, and they're like afraid to go into the city. So we're kind of navigating that somehow, but I'm pretty optimistic. I'm hoping that whatever they said, if it is anything bad, they caught it at the very early stages. So that's good.
And are they, I mean, something on the lung, that could be a lot of different things, right? I mean, are they assuming it might be?
They're assuming it could be cancer. Yes. So they have to do a biopsy. That's the next step.
Got it.
But they said even if it is, they caught it because his physician caught it at like just listening to his chest at an appointment. So yeah, so
got it. Well,
so, but I mean, I feel we have great doctors around here, and he has no symptoms. He feels really strong. So we're just hoping. It's just an odd time to like be like, oh, you have this and we want to make sure you're okay, but can we go to and actually when they walked into their appointment today, the receptionist said, what are you doing here? And my mom said, we called, we had an appointment. And she's like, no, I called and said, don't come. And my mom's like, no way, because I would have loved to have done this virtually. Like, right. Not get a phone call yesterday. My dad's like, no call. Then they made my mom leave, and she had to wait in the car for like over an hour because they wouldn't let 2 people in the office at once. So it's really interesting. And we're just and I'm trying to picture all these people who are like super sick right now, so we're hoping everything's okay, but yeah.
Oh, well, I'm going to be thinking about your parents.
Thank you. He'll be okay. I feel confident about it.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to start highlighting some because maybe I'll stop moving things. So Floppy Bob's been listing items from home.
Like listing items from your home. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing the whole Marie Kondo thing. Have you ever done that before?
It's on my list.
Is it?
I'm going to do it like a week or 2.
Yeah, I think that it is kind of eye-opening to see what you actually use and what you actually need. And I'm not really a minimalist, but I'm also not an excess person. I like to donate things. I like to get rid of things. So, but yeah, I would say the material things, I think that's actually going to be a big shift in how people come out of this, is just realizing what you actually do need and what is a priority. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be doing that. And I think as resellers, we have the advantage that we actually have an outlet for it. My neighbor
I actually feel pretty lucky that we're resellers. I mean, I feel like even though sales are down, like if I could pick one thing that I would want to be doing right now, it's sell things on the internet. Right. Because people can't go to stores, and eventually even I even find myself shopping a little bit more online because I'm an in-person shopper because that's what I like. And most of my stuff is thrifted. And so I put an order into Everlane last night, and I was like, just kind of branching out. And like, I never, like, that wasn't even on my radar. And I'm like, they were having a special on leggings. I'm like, I think I need these.
Oh, I saw someone talk about their new leggings, right? They're kind of a new style.
I've never shopped with them before, so I don't know what the old style was, but they were 2 for $90. And when I think in terms of like Lululemon leggings or whatever, which are super pricey, I'm like, I'm going to give these a try.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I am like you. I like doing shopping in person. I'm not an online shopper, but I have actually the sweetest thing. So right before I went live, my dog started going crazy, the UPS driver, and I wasn't expecting anything. This is how funny my mom is. So my mom, if you're watching, hi. She's never involved with the chat, but she must be keeping up with my vlogs because I got 2 little packages, and I was like, that's weird. I didn't order anything. And it's got to be my mom because she knows my house address, not my box address. But
oh, right.
I said in one of my videos that I was worried that I was going to be out of curry powder. And so here is, I think, and now it's like stuff, but here's curry powder.
Aw.
And so she must have just seen that and went, oh, well, she needs curry powder.
What a good mom.
Thanks, Mom. And then this is so funny. I don't think I think this is like it's like a Nutella,
Nutella?
But it's like a different brand.
Nutella.
So for toast or something, or dip or spread or smoothie, I've never tried
this. Is it like the
this.
chocolate hazelnut?
It says organic hazelnut spread with cocoa. So yeah.
That's so good.
And then she saw that some of the suits that I had on my video had some deodorant stains. So she ordered,
yes.
It's like Skid Out or something. I don't know if you've ever tried this.
No, I was watching What Not to Wear, like one of those shows back in the day. And they said when you have a deodorant stain, you just rub it on itself and it comes off. And that's what I always do.
And so it works.
You rub it together. But I didn't know that there was.
I'm going to try this. I mean, it just got
here. They're great.
I just need to keep saying on my videos the things I'm running out of, and then they'll just magically appear from
appear on your doorstep.
That's great.
The video fairy. So how far are your parents from you? Are they in San Francisco? Like distant?
No. Oh. All my family's in Southern California. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 sisters. They're both in the greater LA area. And then my parents are about an hour away from me. Just basically north of LA. So yeah, so and then I have friends nearby, but I don't have any other family. So my parents are together, quarantined together. But my grandmother, who is about 30 minutes north of them, she's home alone. And so my mom's been doing grocery shopping to be delivered.
Yeah.
And so, kind of the same thing. But yeah, it's I feel
is she in like a group setting where she has like some like any social, like an over 55 or like a place like that?
No, she's in the home that they've lived in.
Wow.
That my mom grew up in.
Wow.
So she's got her neighbors, and obviously they know she's there, and they'll send my mom, a message like, and she's going out in her backyard to go for walks and stuff. And I mean, she's in her mid 80s. So, but she likes her independence. And
yeah.
So, yeah, but I think that's just it. Like she likes living alone now, but she also, I think, just keeping those people in mind is really important.
Sure.
The FaceTiming is, oh my gosh, Resell Secrets. If you send your address, I'm sure, don't post your address, please. But if you post your address, I'm sure she will.
That is so great.
Everyone's going to start doing their shopping tips with.
Oh my gosh, too funny.
That is hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah, Rice, is anyone out of, like, have your grocery stores been out of anything that you just absolutely?
I mean, all the stereotypical things they're out of, like all the toilet paper and the hand wipes. And we did grocery shopping the other day, and I was amazed at how many people of the workers like weren't wearing gloves, weren't wearing masks. Like, I was blown away. And now it's state mandated as of a couple of days ago that the checkout lines have to be marked 6 feet apart. So when you check out, it's like tape on the floor where you're supposed to stand and check out so you're not getting too close. But then you get up to pay and you're like this close to the cashier who's not wearing a mask, who's been exposed all day long. So yeah, so I don't know. It's crazy.
And a lot of those,
they're just out of the normal stuff that I could see. Pasta was a little bit low. But yeah, like I was walking through the store. That was where I was going with that, to try to find like wipes for after we went shopping. Just like when we got into the car and they had no baby wipes, the baby wipes were out. Like everything was out. I found like one like handy wipes in the travel section. So I took those and we used those in the car to clean up on our way home. But no, they're pretty wiped out of all that stuff. And some stores I'm hearing, I think it's in Pennsylvania, are staggering. So the stores are opening every other day. So they're doing a full day to restock. And like here we have like an hour in the morning for senior citizens to go shopping. And it's just, for that age group. So they're not exposed to everybody else because they're a high risk group. So different states are doing different things, but.
Yeah. And someone just said, Kelly just said the checkout stands nearby have plexiglass shields in front.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That's a recent thing that I've heard.
Yeah. Which, I mean, yeah, thank you. Big thank you to everyone working through this, because I mean, I haven't gone out. I stopped by the grocery store. I think it's been almost 2 weeks since I went to the grocery store, and I don't have any delivery services options around me. So, but I did.
You don't.
I do not. No. So I don't have a lot of grocery stores will deliver.
Yep.
But we do have a pickup. So if I need to, I can always pick up. But I stocked up, so I'm fine. And I'm just one person. But yeah, I can't even imagine. Those are the places that are hiring right now. So it's kind of this catch-22. You're still employed. You're still working. That's something to be thankful for. But then you're around people.
You're at risk.
It's hard. So, yeah. And I don't know if any resellers in the chat are currently working at their job, not at home. But thank you. And post office workers.
Oh my gosh.
I went because I'm still having to drop off. I don't have porch pickup, and I don't know why they haven't created something outside just for people to, because at least when you're outside, you feel like there's fresh air.
I feel so much better outside.
Yeah. But I'm just thankful they're still open. My UPS store was doing the thing that you were talking about where they were taping.
Yep.
And I stopped by there and there were a lot of people there. And I'm thinking, you could do so much online these days, but I think people just get in those routines. Well, I just got an email last night that the UPS store is closing off everything for public unless you have a box, which I have a box there.
Oh, good.
So I can still have things delivered, but I guess that just wasn't working out with the line thing, and they were just possibly feeling at risk.
Or USPS?
UPS. So
UPS. Oh, you have a box at UPS too. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I did that because UPS boxes, you can do anything shipped there and they'll sign for things. I have heard there's kind of a way you can do that with the PO boxes, but it's a little bit different. So This is like a real mail address.
I just recently got a PO box myself. I feel like I should have gotten it a long time ago. And my son was actually the one who went through my Instagram and he removed everything because you start out and you don't think, you just have 20 people following you. And, and so he went through and he's because the kids go through all the online safety stuff. And I didn't. And I'm kind of an open book. And my kids are like, Mom, why don't you just invite people to the house?
So I love the fact though, because I've always been really anxious about, I don't know why. I mean, I don't live near anyone, but maybe that's just it. I live in such a small area but a lot of your videos, you'll have photos of your family. And I'm like, that is so sweet to see, but I don't think.
I know. See, I don't even.
But in the beginning, I thought it was so sweet because I felt like I was more connected to you by seeing your family pictures. But those are probably the things your kids are like, stop, Mom.
I know. Well, and now they've been in a couple of the videos because they're just around. Rocco was downstairs in his boxer shorts the other day. And it's just hey, Rock, come say hi. It's just, life.
But they're also growing up at a time where it's just everyone's on the internet, everything's on the internet, so they probably aren't phased.
Yeah, they're relatively comfortable with it. Party at the Tata house, yes, Lisette, always, always.
Teresa Treasure just said, "Can't wait for consistent, warm, sunny weather." Yeah, that's been the hardest thing the last couple of weeks. Is we actually had nice weather, and then we had this storm that's just been lingering. And so it's been cold and snowy and rainy and foggy. And
you guys get everything there. It's been snowy where you are?
Well, that's the thing. Everyone assumes that I'm in Southern California, but I'm higher elevation.
You're high.
I'm in the mountains.
Yeah. Are you out of the woods, no pun intended, for the fire risks? Is that you're past that?
No.
Are you never past that?
never past it. It's green. So if the danger zone is when the weeds turn brown, turn golden.
Mm-hmm.
And that's typically kind of later in the summer when there's really high risk. But I think there could be fires any point of the year. It's just when it's green and damp, it's going to be less damage.
Right.
But
we're getting a lot of rain right now, but still scary.
It's my homeowner's insurance cancels every year.
Really?
Yeah, because basically they shift. There's new fires and they have to do all these payouts, and so then they cancel everyone, and so then you have to find a new homeowner's insurance, and it's just this cycle. So since I've been here over 2 years, and I'm now on my third homeowner's insurance.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I think it's just happening to everyone here. So
yeah.
And I had that fire scare last year, that was the scariest.
That was really scary.
People who go through stuff like that, like in the show you were just talking about, little fires everywhere, or whatever it's called.
I think that's it.
In the clips, it shows that someone sets their home on fire. And I don't know.
Yes. I just read the first chapter last night. I'm trying to read. That's been one of the things to try to shut my brain off, because what's happened in my house is we're staying up. Well, my Rocco in particular stays up super, super late, and I'm like waking him up at noon, like, come on, but they have no incentive. They can't mandate the kids to do classes because not everybody has access to the internet. So they can't make it a requirement. So as soon as he heard optional, he like tuned out, but so he's the kid I have to push. Anthony's got online classes and Angie's whatever. So she's like reading books and doing things casually, but I'm trying to get the family on some sort of a schedule because I've been staying up so late with them. So now I'm like trying to read before bed instead of being on my phone. And that's the book I'm reading. And so, yes, like there is a fire, and it's very excited. I'm so excited to actually be reading a book right now. Can't remember the last time I read a book.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they're trying to read that book before starting the series.
Yes, yeah.
But
which I never do. So, hi, Lucky.
Aw, is Lucky there?
Yes, he just opened the door though. Lucky, come in, honey. Come on. In or out?
Linda, I just wanted to say thank you.
It
sounds like
you
have tape on the floor. You're trying to do your best. The overtime hours, that's going to take a toll on post office workers, UPS drivers, FedEx drivers, obviously hospital employees. It's going to take a toll. It's already taking a toll, but thank you, Linda, for everything. I'm glad you shared that. Let's see.
Yeah.
Thriving Treehouse. Speaking of shows, 2 amazing shows to watch on Netflix, Miss Virginia and also Self-Made.
Oh, I haven't heard of either one of those.
Yeah, I feel like we need to write this down. Thanks for sharing Thriving Treehouse. I think.
And does anybody watch The Ozarks? Oh, The Ozark.
Okay, I think you said this in one of your videos one time.
Did I? Because I was obsessed with it. And I follow one of the actresses on Instagram, and she's like, season 3 is live. And just before I came on with you, I read that. And I was like so excited because their season 3 is up.
Yay, Ozark tonight. Sell It All just said.
Oh, yes.
Is that the one? Is it Bateman? Jason Bateman? Okay.
Yes.
So I watched, I think, 2 seasons, and then it fell off in.
There's only been 2 seasons, so you haven't missed anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah,
it gets a little weird.
Totally weird.
Okay, yeah. Trying to remember.
Courtney's like, I don't think I liked it.
No, I think I did like it, which is why I kept watching it, because I don't have the patience for a lot of stuff. But
it pulls you in.
Yeah, no. Oh my gosh.
Self-Made. What was Self-Made about?
Self-Made so good. It's so good. Try Tiger King too.
Oh my gosh, that is weird. I watched the first episode of that. Who's watching that?
Let's see. I've got to try and highlight
Lori
it.
Owen.
So Lori, yeah.
It's about this weird guy who has like 200, like a tiger farm, and he's like kind of a hillbilly, and he has like 225 tigers and exotic cats on his property. And then there's someone who's like trying to shut him down. This is like all from the Coming Attractions. So, and the woman who's like, I don't know if she works with PETA or what her role is, but she tries to get him shut down. And I think in the Coming Attractions, they say he like puts a hit out on her to like kill the woman. And it's a true story.
This is a real show?
It's on Netflix. I've heard weird things about Tiger King, but I think I'd be into it.
Okay, Kelly, I think I'm right there with you. I feel like this is the description is winning me over. Oh my gosh. Okay, now everyone's posting all of their. This is great. So we just have to watch this playback when we.
This is really, and this is good information coming up right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. True story. Okay. See, I only watched you know what else? Speaking of binge watching is Love is Blind. Love is Blind.
Okay, I've heard so much about it.
Is it? Good.
So okay, to go with that.
It feels a little Bachelor-y, so be forewarned. Okay. I mean,
throw it at me. I just started watching, so I watched. I haven't been a big reality TV show person, but I think probably 6 months ago, I binge watched Vanderpump Rules.
What?
Vanderpump Rules.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, because it's LA.
Living with the Stars, the guy from that, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I want to see it. Was it good?
So it's a good show, and it's LA, and so I know a lot of the area, and they're also somewhat my age, and so so I got hooked on that. I've heard good things about the boat one, which someone can put it in, but then I watched The Bachelor this season, and I've never been a Bachelor person, and what a whirlwind. But then I'm like, no, this is great. It makes me feel so much better about my life is watching these people with
these train wrecks everywhere. It's so much fun.
Love is Blind. I've seen people on talk shows, the people who kind of came together being interviewed.
I feel like it felt more authentic than The Bachelor. And they're basically these people go in, men and women, and they're in pods. And so it's one house that's divided by these pods, and you go in, and it's just like a room with a couch and a glass between you, so you can't see the other person. And they do like speed dating in the pods, and they quickly start to couple up. And they have notebooks, and they make a connection with certain people. They're repulsed by other people, and so they eventually connect. And there are proposals in the pod, sight unseen. Like,
oh my gosh.
And you can't meet the person until somebody proposes. And so then they propose, and there's this big reveal, and they come running into each other's arms, and a few of them make it. And then they go on vacation together. It's actually I really liked it. I burned through that.
Okay. So what is it playing on? Because I don't have cable.
Oh, I think it's Netflix.
Okay. So I'll have to. I think I had my dad's Netflix password, and then I got kicked off of it, and then I just haven't reset it. So I need all this Netflix stuff.
I can give you mine.
Yeah, no, I've heard. I actually like that idea, except the one complaint I heard from people on Love is Blind is basically everyone's attractive.
They are.
So I mean, if you like their personality, more than likely they're. So even though the Love is Blind, there's kind of some reassurance that it's not.
There's Love is Blind, but the casting call was not.
Yeah. That should be their new slogan. Oh my gosh, 90 Day Fiance. I have heard about that one.
I haven't seen that.
I don't, Robin, which network is that on? Because I've also heard that one is good and also has some good true stories, or not true stories, but yeah, a lot of Josh the drama is what makes it fun. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Somebody just said Belle Plain reliving the 2016 World Series, their broadcasting games, one each night. Obviously a Cubs fan. All right, so for me, it would be the 2004 World Series. But yes, I have rewatched our World Series.
Did you know that I lived in Boston?
In 2004?
No, in 2000. No, but I went to, so I was never a baseball person. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, so I guess you could say Dodgers. But when I was 18, I went to Boston. The opening game, some of my friends wanted to go, and you camp out all night. You don't camp out. You just basically, we were not of age. So Mom, don't listen to this. But yeah, but the coolest thing was that you had these diehard Red Sox fans who were right around you. And it was one of the coolest experiences of my life, was just being a part of that. And this is before they actually had any hope. I mean, it was like 25 years of.
Oh yeah. They had a street like misery for years and years. Yeah. Yes.
So it was so cool.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But ever since
then, back to Boston, Courtney, come visit.
If my family would come with me, that's why I came back this way. But yeah, Boston's so great. People are so funny. Okay.
All right, I need to catch up.
I know.
Oh, the
There's a
Ted
lot.
Bundy series scares me. My son watched that, Michelle.
I don't think I could watch that.
He
I think,
scares me because he appears so normal. Like I like to think that I have like a sixth sense when there are creepy men around me or creepy people in general, but like he would fool me and it scares me.
yeah, I can't watch that stuff because I have nightmares, even as a
Mm.
grown adult, because it just hits home, you know,
I
kind of
would
like what
say
you're saying.
I'm the most frightened by reality. Like I can take gore and stuff that's not real, but something like that can happen, or like Silence of the Lambs, like that stuff keeps me up at night.
Oh my gosh, an ex-boyfriend used to call me Clarice, and I had never seen it because I'm scared of movies. But he's from Boston, so it's funny. But I thought it was like,
Freshie.
isn't that a creepy movie? I don't really know if that's really a great name to.
Depends on how he said it. If he said it like
I think it was. I don't think it was. I think it was the creepy psycho killer way.
yes.
Which is not a good way. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. So lots of suggestions. So we've gone off on this tangent.
I know we really took a turn.
We really took a turn. Thanks everyone for
Hi, Amber. America's Most Wanted. Yeah, that was a scary show too.
Oh my gosh, Michelle CD said he was like my ex-husband without the murder. Exactly. Is that Ted Bundy, Michelle? I'm assuming that's who you're referring to. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Julianne Moore thing. I think it was Julianne Moore. That's what he was referring to. I think that's what it was, a little bit, little bunny. Oh, hey, Amber. Didn't realize you were here.
Yeah, she just kind of appeared. Hi, Amber.
She's probably multitasking. Watching America's Most Wanted as a kid gave me so many nightmares. Yeah, I think I didn't like any of that stuff as a kid, so I just don't like it as an adult. That. There was that. Did you ever get into the podcast like Serial?
No. About serial killers?
No, it was done by NPR or one of the. It was a number of years ago, but it's actually one of the podcasts that kind of made podcasts start growing and stuff like that. But the first season was about a teenage boy who was, and I can't remember his name. He's still in prison, but they basically, it's not an unsolved murder, but the whole thing, I'm totally butchering it. The whole thing is every week they kind of show you some backstory of this teenage boy who was accused of murdering his girlfriend and was sentenced or, locked up and had been in prison, but it was before technology. So it was before a lot of stuff, but it was the first podcast I listened to. And I think they've done a couple of their seasons since then. And it's not quite as good as that first one, but if you need a podcast to listen to, Serial, spelled Serial, I think. Okay. It's really good, but Adnan, I think was his name. He actually popped up in the news because after this podcast came out and there was so much doubt with the criminal, what is it called, where they, do the research and stuff, but
like whether or not he was guilty.
Yeah. So the whole podcast, you go back and forth, like your emotions are kind of played into, okay, he can't be guilty. Absolutely not. And then the next week you're like, oh, he's guilty. And you just keep going back and forth. And they're just journalists. They're just trying to share what they're figuring out. But it sparked his case getting reopened. And then I guess there wasn't enough doubt. So he's still in prison. But
still in prison. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a lot of years ago, but yeah.
How do you highlight someone's name in red, Courtney? I'm going to need to know that at some point if I ever do live.
When I highlight someone's name in red, I don't see. Are there?
Oh, I think I know what she's talking about. So, like, if I feel like my name pops up, it only pops up in red to you if somebody like @s you. Like, so when I'm on somebody else's live, and somebody says hi, @ Lori's Boston Found, it pops up in red to me. But if they just say, hi, Lori, it doesn't pop up. They have to like give my handle and then it will pop up in red. But I think it's only to me, not to everybody else, I think.
Yeah, I'm in StreamYard chat, so I don't see nothing.
We're not seeing it light up as red.
Yeah, but it could be the @ thing. Yeah, KP Gunther just said.
Again, it's only if it's addressed to you. I think it's to call your attention if someone's addressing you. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it. But yeah, it sounds like everyone's kind of agreeing with what you're saying.
Okay.
Cheer on Netflix. Have you seen it?
I watched the first episode or two. Fascinating.
Oh,
Is somebody asking about Cheer?
yeah. Someone did say
Yeah.
yes. Someone did say Cheer.
The crazy thing about the Cheer series that I felt as a dance mom, because my aunt danced for like 14 years, but these cheerleaders, they like their career is almost over after college. Like there's really nowhere for these athletes to go after they cheer in college. And the school that's featured in this series is a junior college. So it's only a 2-year school, but they're like the best in the nation. So if you cheer, like not that they wouldn't go on from there, but it's even cut in half. Like even if you cheered like at a 4-year school, you'd at least have 4 years. But these kids go in the beating that their bodies take. I mean, cheerleaders, it's like one of the top rated, most likely to get hurt.
Wow.
For injuries, from falls, from mounts and stuff. And these kids were incredibly talented. But to think that it only goes 2 years, like when I think in terms of dance, I feel like you can dance your whole life and be a dance teacher. And like there's avenues. You can go to New York and there's all sorts of different things you can do. But yeah, these kids are true athletes. Yes, fabulous vintage.
I haven't seen it. I have in Tehachapi, we have a place called Woodward West.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually Woodward in Pennsylvania, but it's basically, they do a lot of things, but they're kind of known for their summer camps, action sports camps. And my friend is actually the GM at our local one. So they have the East Coast and they have the West Coast one, and they have a cheer program. And so she talks about cheer and how intense it is. Like, I mean, compared to the skaters and the BMXers, like the cheer crowd is really intense from just like passion and just the physical aspects of it. And I didn't really know too much about cheer before her. So hearing about it is interesting. I want to watch the show because I've heard really good things about it, but there's just so much to watch right now. I feel like that we just got hit with, 50 new things to watch. And we've got
I know that's a good thing because I'm always looking for stuff. But I'm like you, I feel like I have it on in the background and then I work.
Yeah. Leslie, how's it going?
Mm-hmm. Good question, Leslie.
Yeah, really good question. Are you doing any different home exercises, being outside? I saw your post. You were outside earlier.
You walk your dog all the time. You are good about being outside.
I don't have anything around me, so I have to, walk or be stuck inside. So yeah, I mean, I'm lucky to be in an area where I can just be on my property and have a lot of outdoor time. The weather's been really terrible, Leslie, so I've been really kind of down, just because I would like to be outside more, but it's cold and wet. So I'm looking at probably another few days of cold, and then I think we're supposed to get into the low 60s in like 5 days. Nice. I'm just going to have my laptop. I'm going to have like a long cord. I'm just going to be camped outside on my deck because
I worked outside today too because it was so nice. But I did exercise today for truthfully like the first time, like sweat exercise. Like I've been going on little walks and stuff and taking the dogs. But I've probably talked about him on Instagram. But does anybody follow the Fitness Marshal? Anybody? You have to look him up. His name is Caleb. He's in LA and he does like dances to like fun pop songs on YouTube. Then he has 2 backup dancers, and one is like a very typical body image you would picture as a backup dancer. And one is always like full figured, or he has like a guy doing like a modified version. He is the best dancer and he's so like animated and incredible. And he actually toured, and I went and like took one of his classes like outside of Boston like 2 years ago, but he is like blown up on the internet now.
Wow.
And he just did a video to Stupid Love, Lady Gaga, Stupid Love, but he does like warm-ups to like Senorita. I mean, any song you can think of, and he's on YouTube, and I highly, highly recommend him. Tell me somebody knows who I'm talking about in the chat.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, Leslie, I've been doing my normal walks with the dog, which is not abnormal. I have been doing kettlebells, and I've like thought about showing it on my vlog channel just to show that I'm doing something to mix things up. But just because I feel like strength training is something that, is good. I did CrossFit for a couple years and I really like the kettlebell, just the versatility of it. So I got some a couple months ago, and they're sitting right here staring at me. So, but
That's
yeah, I'll
cool.
check them out. So it's the Fitness Marshall.
The Fitness Marshal. Yeah, he's
Okay.
really, really fun. Okay, now the dogs want to go out. Go.
Oh, Leslie, definitely show the kettlebells. We'll see. There's a lot of workouts online, but kettlebells, I mean, yeah, it's intense. Let's see if there's any fun stuff.
I see another dance mom out there. Go to boutique, Deja Vu Vintage. Fun.
Yeah. Yeah, just bad feet with ballet. Actually,
Squats are not my friends.
One of my nieces is into ballet. And so my sister is actually turning into a ballet mom, but she never danced. And so she doesn't have that. Yeah, she talks about it, but it's interesting. How old is she? She's 11. I think she's 11. And she just started doing the pre-point. Pre-point.
Yeah.
And my sister was saying that they have to go to a doctor and have a doctor sign off that they can medically. And she's like, I don't think this ever was a thing when we were younger. Because
I think when they're that young, some studios want a doctor's note just because of development. It's a lot on their ankles. Like in our studio, they didn't want the girls going up on point until they were like 13, but some were just ready before others. My daughter was a little late. She's like super loosey-goosey. She was more flexible and didn't have like the strength at that young of an age. So I think she went up more like 12 or 13, but we weren't like a really good ballet studio. But if that's what their thing is ballet, they're usually pretty militant about it.
Yeah, she's actually with a dance company, not where she's like homeschooling or anything, but they're actual. So I think they take it very seriously, which is good because you don't have permanent damage. But
I mean, Ange doesn't dance anymore, and I was very sad about it. But it taught her a lot of discipline, and she's loves to be physical, and she keeps it in her life. And I kind of thank dance for that. Like I think it kind of just built some really good habits just because she was so involved, as all sports do. I mean, you did soccer. And I think being on a team and just anything that's consistent and, keeps you disciplined and out there and hardworking is great for kids, as long as they are enjoying it.
Yeah, which is hard. I have two nieces, and one's in swim and one's in ballet. And when those were canceled, you already talked about graduations and proms and all of that stuff, but even kids with activities where they're in clubs and stuff like that, it's all really affecting everything. I know my like swimming, unless you have a pool at home, like a lap pool, you can't do that at home. So
that's really hard. I know they moved a lot, like the girls who still dance at the studio where Ange was at, some of the instructors have moved to like online classes. Like I'm pretty sure people can take like bar classes during the day. There's a ton of online dance classes right now because it's like a fitness class that you can take, but swimming, that's kind of heartbreaking. Yeah, they can't. That's like baseball. Angie's still running. She's on the track team, so she's running, and her coach is like checking in with her. But there's nothing Rocco can do. We played catch, but not much beyond that. And, I don't think I quite fit the bill.
Yeah, he's probably like, "You're terrible, Mom. You can't compare." Yeah, Restyle Secrets. Your granddaughter's lost without soccer. Yeah, soccer's another one. You can't. I mean, you could go and do all the. Yeah.
Michelle CD, you look like you're somebody I know because you're referencing my mother-in-law. I remember an awesome photo Sandy posted on Facebook a few years back of your daughter in Leaps. She rocks. That's someone from this world. My worlds are colliding.
Oh, really? Someone knows you in the real world?
Yes, Michelle. You'll have to message me later. I'm not sure how we connect. Middle school and travel baseball as a bus for the season. Yeah, and also for the middle schoolers, like their 8th grade trip to DC got canceled. I don't know if other districts do that, but that's a big thing around here. And all those 8th grade DC trips got canceled as well.
Yeah, it is definitely lots of things are getting, but those team sports or team activities, it's hard to replace. So, yeah. Well, I'm really glad you could hang out tonight. I feel like we all have all the time in the world, but I still feel really busy. And
I feel like the days are flying by.
Yeah.
Like flying by.
So what's your plan kind of for the next week or two? you said that you wanted to do maybe a little Marie Kondo out of your own closet.
Yeah. So the way that I'm trying to structure my weeks, I'm looking at each week as like, what big thing can I tackle this week? Like, how can I look at this as an opportunity? And now that the kids, it's definite they're not going back until at least May 4th. I'm like, okay, I have like 5 weeks. So like this week was the real for me. I'm like, I just want to do a video on the real and actually package my things up. And I'm already starting another box because I found more things. So I'm like, I just kind of want to really dig into that this week. And then 1 week I want to dedicate to cleaning out. So I'm in my bedroom right now, and this is the room. I think I'm going to video the whole thing, just pull everything, put it on my bed, like just do it. And, but I want to finish what I have from what's left over to list. I think I have about 30 or 40 items, and I've been really chipping slowly away at them. I haven't not like in February, I was like 15 items a day. Like I've just been like 5 here, 3, maybe I'll do 10, maybe I'll skip a day. I haven't been super consistent this month. So that may also be contributing to why my sales aren't as good. But yeah, so I want to do 1 week of that. So I'm trying to look at each week as like a big project I can tackle. I have this Canon M50 camera, and I've been talking about it like since I bought it like 6 months ago, and I still shoot all my videos on my phone, and I'm mad at myself. So that's going to be a week. So that's my thing. So I'm going to organize my room. I think I'm going to do an American Girl week, and I'm going to do a camera week. Those are my 3 biggies, and little things in between.
I think an American Girl, I would find that interesting just because I know my niece has had them, but I've never been in a store. But if I saw one out in the wild, it would be really interesting to kind of know, like, because that's what you would, in a sense, do it for, right? You would
kind of like which things are collectible. What was the first, like the historical dolls versus the Girls of the Year versus the My AG, and like identifying like on the back of their neck if it says Pleasant Company or if it says American Girl, like tells you what year it's from. Like there are little things that I can tell people so that when they're out there, they will know what to look for, you know?
Got it. Yeah. And if there's a little cheat sheet in the notes section so that if you're out and about, you could go back to that video.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That would be really helpful.
So do you have any big plans?
Yeah, I'm trying to just stay busy. So yeah, I want to do the Marie Kondo thing out of my closet, but I'm going to just bring everything and put it out here in a big pile. Which I haven't done that. And I don't really have, the problem is I've never been I'm a Target shopper, you know, so I don't really have anything of value, but at this point, if I can pull a few things out to resell, that would be nice. And also just kind of get organized with my closet. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard to plan in advance when we're just like, yeah. So
do you find, you know how the expression, like if you want something done, give it to the busiest person in the room. Have you ever heard that? And because I feel like when I'm busier, I am better about checking the boxes. And now I find like I have these wide open days and it's like 10:30, and I'm lucky if I've managed to just get my shipping out the door, you know, because I have a pickup scheduled. And then after that, I'm even listing now. If I list 5 items, I'm like, okay, but I feel like I've lost a little bit of my inspiration. So it's not that I don't have stuff to do, because I have plenty to do, but the truth is that when I do go out sourcing, I do get excited and it does inspire me, and I enjoy doing hauls and I love researching stuff. And so while I have piles of things I can list, it's just not as inspiring, or, you know, there's definitely something missing now. So I'm finding it harder to be more productive, even though I have so much more time.
I 100% agree. 100%. And for me, when I go sourcing once or twice a week, it chops out a whole day. So I have to be very kind of disciplined of when I'm going to do. I also don't go to the post office every day. So I feel without that structure and without looking forward to sourcing and, you know, just going down to the city, it's thrown me for a loop for sure. But so that's where I think it just try not to beat myself up over any of it. If it's a bad day and I didn't get much done, like today I got my shipping done. I hope I'm going to go take some photos. It's still kind of early here. So, but if I don't, like, I'm not going to make myself feel bad, you know?
You definitely should not. You are like one of the hardest working people I know.
I think I was just talking about this though. I've also upped my YouTube game. And so I'm doing a lot more YouTube content, which is also taking away time. So yeah, I think, so I've got, I have stuff that I need to package up. There's some videos I want to do, and I'm sure you have a list of videos that you want to do as well that just take time. I'm actually doing a video this coming Monday with, it's the same video style, but we're all just dropping it on the same day. And that would requires a little bit of thoughtfulness and planning. So I think that YouTube, there's some content I would love to do, but it just takes time and organizing. So hopefully I'll get some of that done. But
it does. And sometimes if there's a video that I'm excited to do or I think about a lot, it gets bigger and bigger to me, and it gets more intimidating. Like, because I've put so much thought into it, or I want it to be good. And so then I put it off, where I think hauls you and I can kind of do in our sleep.
yeah.
And I happen to like, my viewers like hauls. So it's like a win-win. It's easy to do. It's fun to source, and my audience enjoys it, so not having that, it's hard, and I'm trying to be more creative, and I've been so shiny this whole time. My lighting is crazy.
No. I think it's also getting, it's getting darker here, but hey, Sell Quick Ship Quick. Hey, Tiff. Hey,
Hugo. Hey guys, how are you? Someone just wrote, I have a topic, most rude, difficult customer.
I'm scrolling up. Most rude, difficult customer. Oh man. I made a whole video on my first iNat experience on eBay.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have too many. I've had a lot of like the false accusations on Poshmark. Here's the topic for you. Here's a question for you. If Poshmark allowed sellers to do their own shipping or allow returns, would you do either of those? Do you think?
I would ship certain things as an option, like lighter things, so I could offer a better value to my customers on light items that I like, jewelry or t-shirts that unfortunately ship for so much money. But I have been doing some direct sales. That's something that I'm moving towards. I'm not sure, because I don't love the shipping end, but so I've been doing a fair amount of billing through PayPal, sending invoices and weighing stuff, much like we do for eBay when we weigh stuff. I don't know. I think I like the mindlessness of how I can ship with PayPal. With Poshmark. What was the other part of the question though?
Returns. Would you allow returns? Like, I do buyer pays returns on eBay. And so I feel like I've had more false claims made on Poshmark because that's the only way they can do return. Whereas on eBay, I've only had 1 out of 1,000 sales where it's a false false claim.
Interesting. Yeah.
My
biggest beef about returns with Poshmark, because I feel like more recently they're always siding with the customer. And I feel like when I started, or even like past 6 months ago, they were more like weighing the options. And in many cases I had won, whether I gave input or not or whatever. But my issue is, like, I sold a bundle of 4 items during my buy one, get one free sale at the end of February. And it was $100 sale. So, each thing was like $25. They liked 3 items. And then there was an Athleta sweater that in the collar, like maybe the size of my pinky fingertip, the seam was ripped. So it was in fact a rip. I don't know if it was there when I sent it. I didn't see it. I actually trust this customer. But it was an all or nothing thing. Like, the whole order came back to me and she said, I would like to keep the other 3 items, but there's just no option for that.
I've heard that. I've heard that recently because I had a bundle situation, and some people said that some people like to buy without the bundle so that if there's a problem, they can return just the 1 item.
I remember you talking about someone who kept buying things individually.
Well, yeah, and I tried to do that. I thought I was doing the right thing because I was trying to save them on shipping, but and it worked out. But yeah, I think there's some improvements that need to happen. By the way, my phone's dying and on its last legs, and we've also been chatting. We could chat probably, for hours and hours. But yeah. I'm so glad there's 172 people on my little clock.
Oh, wonderful. So, I don't see how many people are on. I have a funny story about a bad customer. It wasn't a bad customer. It was on eBay. It was before I really got into reselling, but I had gotten back in. But there was some communication where they asked a question and I answered the question, and they said, Tata, that is your last name, Tata. You mean to you want for me to believe that your name is a set of boobs? That's what they wrote. They said, I will never do business with you. Get a real name. And then it's the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've offended this person with my name. It was the most ridiculous thing I had ever, like, I literally had to like show people in my house. I'm like, am I reading this? Like, are they accusing me of using like an inappropriate name? So anyways, so funny.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Oh my gosh.
It takes all kinds of people.
And they read it one way.
That wasn't even mean. I found that very comical.
But they were serious.
They were totally serious.
Yeah.
Like, did not want to do business with me.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. Yeah, Michelle's getting a good laugh out of that. Well, I'm going to end it here, guys. I'm so thankful everyone joined, and I don't know when the next live. Maybe I'm going to do once a week. Just I think 3 in last week was too much for me, but I think this Friday night thing is kind of fun because we're all at home. And
thank you so much for inviting me, Courtney. This was so nice.
Yeah. So go follow Lori. Her YouTube channel is down below. And then your podcast is on all the podcasts.
Yep. It's across all the platforms. And
it's Thrifters Villa.
Thrifters Villa. Yep. We're all over the place. And yeah. And Instagram is the same. I'm just Lori Tata on YouTube. And then Lori's Boston Found on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah. No, I hope everyone has a great weekend. And I'll see you